Okay, not wanting to give up these magazines yet, and we have completed. We did 2007 through 2016, and the magazine ended in 16. And not willing to give them up yet, I've decided to do. And the winner is. Welcome to Flashback Mondays. This is the D. Louise book series where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no demons, and none of that fancy stuff going on here. And my co-host just split. She's annoyed. So anyways, and the winner is my favorite magazine in the whole wide world. Every year gave out awards. Let's see what's in the front. For the now, I may do a separate podcast for career achievement. They did it every year, but it was just a very general. It wasn't for a specific book. It was just for an overall career achievement. But they gave the Seal of Excellence winners. They gave Best Series Romance, which was Harlequin. We won't do that because there are that many. Best Historical Novels, Best Historical Romance, Best Historical Love and Laughter, Best British Isles Set, Best Scotland Set, Best American Set, Best Historical, Contemporary Mystery, Suspense and Thriller, Amateur Mystery, Romantic Suspense. Tons and tons and tons. So we are just going to touch on a few of these topics during this video. And we will reveal who the winner is and what my opinion on the winner is. My eye. So anyways, our first book. Oh, that's not part. That's one of what I'm reading. Oh, I'm reading that too. Alright, so where was I? Only me would put it at the bottom. Okay, the first nominee for historical romance is Candace Camp, An Affair Without End. Are you back? My co-host has returned. So, go on. We are, let's see, An Affair Without End. 4.5 stars. In her Willowmere trilogy conclusion, Camp pairs a staid, responsible, and rather dull earl with an independent, impulsive daughter of a duke, and includes a mix of sprightly dialogue, jewel thieves, and murder, along with a simmering sensuality that adds just enough spice to this fast-paced, well-rendered love story. Oliver Earl Shrewsbury and Lady Vivian Carlyle have known one another for ages and have been at odds with one another for almost as long. It's with some reservation that he agrees to be sponsoring his 2 American cousins for the season. Vivian has no desire to marry. She does mostly as she pleases and enjoys the social activities to the fullest. As the season progresses, their feelings for each other change, and Oliver, against his better judgment, throws propriety to the wind, and at her suggestion, begins a secret affair with Vivian. Over Oliver's objections, Vivian continues tracking down the murderous jewel thief who is plaguing London, but the discovery of the mastermind behind the theft will put them both in danger, and Oliver will do anything he can to protect her. Nominee number 1. Nominee number 2, Christina Dodd, Taken by the Prince. Is that? Only me. Taken by the prince. Naked guy on the cover. Four and a half stars. Mixed fairy tale elements with strong characters, passion, and a kidnapping, and you have died at her absolute best. There was only one time prim Lady Victoria Codliff let her guard down, sharing a kiss with Paul Lawrence, the Viscount Grimsburg rakish son, who saved her from falling off a balcony. They meet again when Victoria and her charges visit the Principality of Marsicanum, and Rahl fears Victoria has unearthed his secret that he is the rebel leader known as the Saber and the missing Prince of Marcata. He ensures that Victoria will tell no one by sweeping her way to his castle in the deep forest. Locked away, Raoul learns that Victoria is more stubborn than he imagined and will be far more difficult to seduce than a proper governess than to gain her silence. Next nominee. By His Grace. No. Let's see. Favorite. Alright, let's do them this way. Alright, we'll come back to it. Never a Gentleman, Eileen Dreyer. Right there. Never a Gentleman, Eileen Dreyer, 4 stars. Well-known contemporary author Dreyer's second in the Drake series is pure joy to read. Dreyer displays her phenomenal sense of atmosphere in an emotionally powerful and beautifully rendered love story. Using the traditional marriage of convenience theme but twisting and turning the plot, the consummate storyteller makes the conventional unconventional, combining beautifully crafted, engaging characters with an intriguing mystery adds depth. Yes. Mystery always does it for me. Miss Grace Fairchild has followed her father on an all-military postings and knows little about the ton's strict rules. Plain and too tall for most men, she has ruled out marriage. Then she wakes up to find a naked man in her bed. Deacon Hillard is on a dangerous mission when he is somehow drugged and left in Grace's bed. The honorable thing to do is marry her, but Deacon finds Grace intriguing. She is not a great beauty, but she is smart, forthright, and passionate. When Deacon's mission collides with his marriage, Grace is pulled into a traitorous plot, but even as the danger passes, they are thrust into more trouble. Only the realization of how much Deacon needs and loves Grace can save them. Aww. Let's do it, bro. The next one, 11 scandals to win. I should just put these in reverse order. That way the one I want would be at the top. 11 scandals started to win a Duke's heart. Sarah McLean, 4 stars. Third book in the Love by Numbers series is a fast-paced, funny, and tender read. You'll love watching McLean's well-developed characters fall in love and define their relationship. Enjoy the cameo appearance of her first two couples in this unforgettable story. Juliana Ferrari, the younger half-sister of the Marquis of Ralston, hasn't been in England in a long time, but she already knows that the English put lots of stock in proper behavior, but they're not much for passion. When she meets Simon Pearson, the Duke of Leighton, who values his reputation above all, her mission is clear: show him the value of passion and bring him to his knees. Simon is equally intent on teaching the untamable Julia some propriety. When a scandal erupts, Juliana leaves for London for her brother's home. She is shocked to find Simon there and desires explode. Ever the gentleman, Simon offers marriage, but Juliana refuses. She's got some stuff for him to do first. No. Wait a minute, let me get it. Nowhere near respectable. Mary Jo Putney. 4.5 stars. Of all Putney's heroes, the Lost Lords are the most irresistible bad boys who are very, very good. With characters so vibrant and real, they leap off the pages an authentic backdrop. He's a gambler, a wastrel, a rake, but Damien Mackenzie is also the hero who rescues Lady Lawford from a band of smugglers. As the sister of one of his closest friends, Kiri would ordinarily be off limits, but nothing about this half Hindi, half English lady is ordinary. Kiri is not about to let Damon get away. She'll work her wiles to win her man. Damon manages to keep his distance until the night. Kiri rescues Princess Charlotte from kidnappers. Now they are drawn into a plot against the royal family, placing them in danger from traitors and their own reckless desires. Alright. Now, if you haven't seen all my videos on this family, please go check out my videos on this family. If anybody deserves to have a Netflix series, it's these guys. However, I do believe the Sinsters really should have one, because unlike the Bridgertons and the Mallorys, the Sinsters goes on for over 35 books. And the characters that were primary characters in the first book are secondary characters in all the rest. So you see them and you catch up and you learn what's going on in their lives. It's a great series, and if any series should have a show, it should be the Sinsters. But anyways, back to the Mallorys. Let's see. When passion rules. 4.5 stars. Few writers have made such an impact on the romance genre as Lindsay. She takes a classic captor theme and fairy tale elements and weaves them into a love story that will resonate with readers. Raised by her uncle Poppy in England, Elena Farmer has been tutored in all the arts and sciences as well as the art of fighting. She's young and ready for love, but not for the news that she's actually Princess Elena of Libya. Instead of killing her as he was hired to do, Poppy fled his homeland to raise her in safety. Now her country needs her to return to avert civil war. When she's suspected of being an impostor or an assassin, she's held captive by Count Christoph Becker, captain of the Royal Guard. Christoph has seen too many pretenders to believe she's the princess, but the feisty Alana gets under his skin. Even as Alana takes her place as ruler to ferret out the traitors, there are many suspects, dangerous intrigues, and shocking secrets. And the passion between her and Christopher doesn't hurt either. 6. Okay. Lady Sophia's Wish. Oh, sorry about the page turning. I always forget about that. It's October. Lady Sophia's Christmas Wish. 4.5 stars. Burroughs is an unconventional storyteller who knows exactly how to touch a reader's heart and reach deeply into the soul. Lady Sophia Wyndham wants some peace and quiet before the family get-together. She's on her way to London when her maid sneaks off, abandoning her 6-month-old infant. Vim Carpenter has problems of his own, but when he spies a young woman holding a crying infant, he offers his help. Vim knows a lot about babies, having raised his siblings. Arriving safely, Vim expects to stay a day or two to teach Sophie how to care for Lord Kit. He doesn't expect to fall in love. Sophie has been taking in strays all her life, but this baby is a miracle. Vim watches her fall in love with Kit and then with him. In the snowbound house, they form a family built on care, trust, and love. The ideally lasts until her brothers arrive to escort her home. See what happens there. Oh, I forgot to get this one, but I don't want to go climbing now. So there's a big picture. I do own this one, but it's way up, and I don't want to go climbing. All right, wait a second. All right. Bond of Passion. 4.5 stars. The 6th volume of the Border Chronicles is a fascinating exploration of love blended perfectly with history. Small brings her 3-dimensional characters into the life of Mary, Queen of Scots, putting her unique spin on Mary Elizabeth I and the enmity between them. And if you haven't watched my Sky O'Malley series, please go check that out. Annabel Bard's arranged marriage to Angus Ferguson, Earl of Dun, is odd. He's not only 15 years older and more powerful borderer, but a supporter of the Catholics and the young Queen Mary. As they form a strong marriage as part of Mary's court, Annabella is drawn into the Queen's tempestuous marriage to Lord Darnley. The birth of her son, James's horrible murder that raises many questions that the Queen struggled to escape Elizabeth's plans for her imprisonment. Annabella and Angus are positioned to play a key role in his history, but they crave a quieter family life during a time of strife. And if you haven't gone through my Sky O'Malley series, please go check those out. We did them all. This is going to be our first picture of the day. Courtney Milan, Unclaimed. Milan continually demonstrates the talent for creating unique, fascinating, and addictive romance readers crave. With more sensuality than outright, she draws readers into a beautiful love story that draws true love is kind and forgiving. Sir Mark Turner, A Gentleman's Practical Guide to Chastity, has capitulated him to unwanted fame, which is why he returns to the village where he was born. There are those who would pay to make the virtuous man succumb to casual love. Courtesan Jessica Farley is desperate enough to masquerade as a genteel lady and seduce him. But when they meet, Jessica and Mark feel the warmth of instant friendship, companionships, and chaste love. See what happens there. Sandra Hill, the Norse King's daughter. Did I have that? No, I don't. No. Alright. The Norse. The one in the middle. The Norse King's daughter, Sandra Hill, 4.5 stars, medieval Scandinavia. This is the kind of roll-licking roller coaster ride only Hill can create with her magical wit and introspection of contemporary colloquialisms. A widower with an infant daughter, Seduc, needs a wife. He chooses Princess Daphia, daughter of King Thorl, but she overhears him bragging that he has gained a wealthy wife and a mother for his child. She hits him over the head. By the time she returns, he has gone. She raises the child as her own until they meet 5 years later in Byzantium. Sidgwick learns that Daffy has a child and, with revenge on his mind, woos her to bed. He is stunned to find a passionate virgin in his arms. After he rescues her from kidnap, he's determined to get Daffy to safety and claim his daughter. See what happens there. And our final entree. Johanna Bourne, the Black Hawk. The Black Hawk, Johanna Bourne, 4.5 stars. Bourne grips readers from the beginning and holds them to the very end of her perfect, powerfully written thriller. What's a thriller doing in Regency? When Justine de Calibric is stabbed by an assassin on the streets of London, the woman once known as the French spy owl seeks help from Lord Adrian Hawkhurst. During the last days of the Reign of Terror, they were child spies in dangerous blood-soaked streets of Paris. They work together on and off over the years and become lovers. When Justine staggers into his home, Hawk realizes he wants her back and he must unmask the person who tried to kill her with his knife. Though they have been apart for years and long ago Justine lost her trust in him, he is determined to love her forever. Justine has a chance to find out if what they had was real or was it gone forever. Okay, so your nominees were Candace Camp, An Affair Without End, Christina Dodd, Taken by a Prince, by His Majesty's Grace, Jennifer Blake. Sarah McLean did 11 Scandals to Start to Win. Mary Jo Putney did Nowhere Near Respect. Joanna Lindsay did Where Passion Rules. Johanna Bourne did The Black Hawk. Grace Burroughs did Lady Sophia's Christmas Wish. Eileen Dreyer did Never a Gentleman. Sandra Hill was The Norse King's Daughter. Beatrice Ma was The Bond of Passion. And Courtney Milan was Unclaimed. And the winner is By His Majesty's Grace. Lady Elizabeth Milton has been given to Earl Rand Brashard, a reward for their Tudor king for his royalty. The lusty nobleman claims his husbandly rights, which Isabel has scarcely hoped to enjoy so much. But youth and strength may not save Bradford from his bride's infamous curse. Accused of a heinous crime, Bradford is imprisoned in the Tower, and Isabel is given the power to seal his fate. Did I not read this one? I didn't read that one. So now I just read that one. Wait. I screwed up again. I'm human. Which issue was that? August. You want to see what it says? With a distinctive voice, Blake sets her tale during the reign of Henry VII and sweeps the readers into precarious lifestyle of battle-scarred knights, court intrigue, and scandals and treachery. So you read that, and that was the winner. Okay, Regency set historical romance. No. I stood at the bookcase for 20 minutes trying to figure out why I didn't have this one. Because I have like 30 of her books. But anyways. I like her, I enjoy her. Victoria Alexander. The Perfect Mistress. 4.5 stars. With stories filled with sass and wit, sensuality and romance, Alexander has made a name for herself, and her latest novel doesn't disappoint. When widow Julia Lady Winterset inherits her great-grandmother's scandalous memoirs, she plans to sell them. She just doesn't expect 3 men to be overly interested in the scandalous tombs. I have read this. It's got to be over there somewhere. It has to be. A publisher sees pound notes, a novelist sees fame, but Harrison Landing, Earl of Montdale, only sees his family's reputation ruined if the book is published. It seems the only way he can stop Julia from selling the naughty memoirs would be to seduce her before anyone else. I'm positive I've read this. I have to own it. I just couldn't find it. I have to have owned this. Margo McGuire, Seducing the Governess. Smoke. Margo McGuire, Seducing the Governess. Naked guy on the cover and almost naked girl. Equal nakedness. 4.5 stars. Come here! Smoke! Smokey! Maguire begins a tantalizing duet tinged with mystery and plenty of passion. With strong characters, sharp repartee, and a hallmark sensuality, she lures her readers into the lives of her fascinating, unconventional characters. Nash Ferris returns from the war to find that he's become the Earl of Ashby and his niece Emmeline's guardian. As unused to being an earl as his being to a father, Nash hires Mercy Franklin as Emmeline's governess. Their first meeting on the road to Ashby Hall sets the tone for their relationship tempestuous. Still, Nash is bewitched by the sassy, black-haired, outspoken Mercy who turns his house and his world upside down. He cannot allow his passions to interfere with investigating his brother's death. When accidents begin to happen and Nash's neighbors start hinting at what a fine bride his daughter would be, Nash is caught between duty and desire. He must maintain the estate and family, but he needs Mercy's love and compassion. And she's drawn to him too. Smoke! Meow. Meow. And then a few minutes later, meow. And then a few minutes later, meow. And you get up and you walk over there. And she's just sitting there. Oh, that wasn't me. So, are you coming? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Ah, my favorite countess. Four and a half stars. Kelly's well-written and powerful love story will keep readers entertained with a captivating plot. The strong protagonist, deep emotional intensity, and rising sexual tension all makes the fast-paced romance memorable. With all the debts left by her late husband, Bathsheba, Lady Randolph is in dire need of funds. She must find a rich gentleman to marry. At a dinner party, she meets Dr. John Blackmore and is taken back by her reaction. She tries to ignore the sexual tension, but when she falls ill with a deadly fever, John saves her life. John discovers a tender-hearted and sharp, intelligent woman under Bathsheba's sharp tongue and wanton facade. They begin an affair, but when John proposes marriage, things go awry. Bathsheba cannot understand his dedication to helping poor women in dangerous areas. It's during one of these forays into St. Giles that John is nearly killed. Go on. And there it is. My favorite countess. Okay. The Secret Mistress. Mary Balough. 4.5 stars. A grand mistress of Regency, Balough always gives readers with delight enthralling love stories layered with deep depth, humor, and emotional intensity, grand passion. Lady Angelina Dudley is about to make her come out, sheltered and living in the country. She is more of a hoyden than a debutante. She knows she will wed a titled wealthy man as befits her station as a duke's sister, but she would rather have love. A stop at a posting inn brings her a hero, Edward Elsby, the new Earl of Hayward, who rescues her from an unwanted advances and steals her heart. Though Edward is attracted to Angeline, she is the sister of the man responsible for his brother's death. It would be far better if he wed his childhood friend, a calm and ladylike woman who's the ideal match for him. But let's see. As Edward, as stated, but Angeline will not give up, and fates bring them together. It becomes obvious that Edward is not as prim and proper as the world believes, and Angelique's natural passion is impossible for him to resist. And Loretta Chase. Silk is for seduction. How did I not? The lady in red. Or pink. Silk is for seduction. Lady Chase, 4.5 stars. Chase seeks the unusual in plot and characters and always presents readers with an exciting, different, and magical love story. All Marceline Noailles desires is to turn her dress shop into a flourishing fashion empire. Along with her sister, she has built up her business and is ready for the step that will catapult them into the ton's eye. She just needs a client who will be noticed and finds her when she learns the Duke of Clevedon is about to wed. All she has to do is convince his fiancé that a wedding gown from her shop will make the bride of the century. To that end, Marceline relies on her wits and willies to flirt and attract Clevedon's attention. Her plan works a bit too well. Clevedon is overwhelmingly drawn to Marceline and sees her as a challenge, a prize he cannot resist. Marceline begins feeling desires for the Duke. Their blossoming romance sets off a battle of wills, and the ton watches as they break all the rules. See what happens there. And Sins of a Viscount. Yeah, that one's got to be over there too. Sins of a Viscount. I have so many of hers. Four and a half stars. Twisting something old into something fresh is one of James's talents. Here she uses the desire revenge plotline and switches the genders. The woman is out to seduce and ruin, but it's not a simple plot. It's complicated in a good way. He was supposed to have been the one lying dead on the field of honor, not Claire's Ashker's brother. Wild and reckless, drunk and unfeeling, Viscount Grayson Sutherland is not a man any young woman should desire, but Claire desires revenge, and to get it, she plans to seduce him, string him along until he's madly in love with her, and then hurl him away. But in the end, she falls in love with him too. Don't you see that coming? And your nominees are Victoria Alexander, The Perfect Mistress; Margot McGuire, Seducing the Governess; Vanessa Kelly, My Favorite Countess; Mary Balough, The Secret Mistress; Loretta Chase, Silk is for Seduction; and Samantha James, The Sins of Viscount Sutherland. And the winner is Mary Balough, The Perfect Mistress, and I agree with this one. All right. Okay. Historical romance set in Scotland. Your first nominee is Sue Ellen Wellfounder, Sins of a Highland Devil. Naked guy on the cover. Sins of a Highland Devil, Sue Ann Wellfounder, 4.5 stars. The first installment of the Wellfounder Highland Warriors trilogy continues a long tradition of well-written, highly emotional romances. The Scots king has sent a royal decree to the lairds of MacDonald, Cameron, and Mackintosh clans who inhabit the glen of many legends, demanding that their feudal clans battle to the death. The clan of the last man standing will be awarded the glen. The others will be resettled. Katrina MacDonald, Laird Estelle's sister, has suppressed her feelings for Cameron Laird James. He also shares an uncredited love for her. While they attempt to keep their desires hidden, James convinces Alistair and Kendra McDew to follow a plan that will prevent the needless deaths of their clansmen. He hopes to ensure that the king will not take the glen from them. Unbeknownst to the lads, their three sisters have devised a plan of their own. As the day of the terrible battle nears, the tension and emotions of all involved continue to ratchet up until the startling climax. Alright. Book 2. Karen Rainey, a borrowed Scott. Oh, wait a minute. No. We're doing, alright, well, right, I want to do this the way I had it set up. Sorry. I am messing up again. Alright. 2. Amanda Scott, Highland Master. Four and a half stars. Scott, known as respected for her Scottish tales, and once again written a gripping romance that seamlessly interweaves history, complex plot, and strong emotions. Picked by the king to fight at a battle of Perth, Sir Finlay Cameron has sworn an oath not to harm non-combatants of the opposing clan. However, as his father lay dying, Finn vowed revenge at Clan McIntosh. Lady Katrina McIntosh, aka Wildcat, finds Finn unconscious on their land. Her devotion to her family forgotten as she attempts to save his life. As she tends his wound, she is excited by his touch, quite a shock to a woman who never tends to wed. He is invited to stay with her family while he recovers. Since he has a message for her grandfather, Finn and Kat are quickly falling in love, even though Finn is torn by his loyalties to king and family. See what happens there. Right. So, Karen Rainey, a borrowed Scott. Sorry. Do this. Oh, it just sucks. Karen Rainey, a borrowed Scott. Naked guy on the cover. Four and a half stars. Strong plot lines and memorable characters combined with heated sensuality and a dash of humor and adventure are why readers turn to Rainey for delightful and delicious reading. Montgomery Fairfax, an American recently come into his title as 11th Lord of Fairfax, arrives at the mysterious macabre meeting to gain information about a strange mirror he's inherited. Instead, he walks into a ceremony where a young woman is about to be violated. Without thinking of the consequences, Montgomery risks his life to save her. Victoria McLeod sought after the Marcel to understand her gift for feeling others' emotions. Never did she imagine being drugged, rescued by a stranger, and being forced into marriage. Though glad to be away from her horrid family, Veronica knows she has gone from the frying pan into the fire. The only thing holding her marriage together is the passion they share. See what happens there. Alright. Margaret Mallory, The Guardian. Smoke. There's a bigger picture of this. Somewhere. I've seen it. Yes, ma'am. Mallory imbues history with a life of its own, creating a deeply moving story. Her characters are vibrantly alive and full of emotional depth, each with their own realistic flaws. Ian MacDonald rescues his young friend Silas from a forced marriage to Angus McKinnon, and his family forces them to marry so that Silas' inheritance, a castle, will not get in the McKinnon's hands. While he's always been to protect her, Ian is too young to be a husband to the 13-year-old Silas who worshipped and loved him. But after the ceremony, Ian and his friend Alec leave to fight the border wars. He returns 5 years later and is overwhelmed by Silas's maturity, beauty, and love for him. He assumes his responsibility, vowing to win her respect and create a real marriage. Here is his chance to rekindle their youthful love into an enduring passion. Let's see what happens there. Alright. Karen Hawkins. Scandal in Scotland. Karen Hawkins, Scandal in Scotland. Four and a half stars. The second book in the Hawkins-Hurst Amulet series reaches new heights in a humorous, fast-paced, dramatic story. Marskell, a famous actress, has never forgotten the man she loved. She forced Sea Captain William Hurst to leave her, believing it was best for their families. Now a blackmailer is threatening her family, and she is forced to steal an onyx box from William. The box ostensibly contains an artifact that William needs to free his brother, who is being held prisoner by a Middle Eastern sultan. When William finds Marskell waiting for him on a ship, he never expects that she is there to drug him and steal the box. He pursues and captures her, only to find that she is no longer in possession of the box, and they must work together to get it back. You know, she just could have told them in the first place. But anyways. Secrets to Seducing a Scot. Secrets to Seducing a Scot. 4.5 stars. Marcus brings her latest Highland Knave book to life in a way that sends shivers of anticipation through readers. The survivor of a massacre that wiped out his family, Malcolm Slayer, becomes a sword for hire, but he also a man who fights for justice. He has no loyalties, yet his honor demands he protects Serena Marsh. Serena's father hires Malcolm to be her bodyguard after rebels threaten her. Stubborn Serena resists, but her perhaps a little flirting couldn't hurt. When her father is abducted, she puts her trust in Malcolm to help free him. And then they fall in love. Isn't it always? And 6. If you haven't read these books, actually, I did them by audio. I did them all by audio when I was transcribing and compiling. I love the guy that does the audiobooks. But this is a really good series. I highly, highly recommend it. Monica McCarthy, The Viper. 4.5 stars. McCarty's newest Highland Guard book stands out. Her dramatic, action-filled, and outstanding romantic story is impossible to put down. The Macduffs hold the hereditary right to enthrone the King of Scotland, but when Lady Isabel performed his duty for Robert the Bruce, she was sentenced by King Edward of England to be hung in a steel cage. When rescued by Bruce's men, she is told she will be taken to the coronation by Lachlan Viper. Lachlan is viewed warily because he is a mercenary. He was betrayed by his wife and sworn never to wed again. Bella completely shatters his resolve. They succumb to their mutual attraction as they search for a way to find peace for Scotland. And our final book is In Bed with a Highlander. Maya Banks, who I associate with sex books. But anyway, naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. In her trilogy starter, Banks demonstrates her outstanding ability to write a fast-paced, sensually charged, and emotionally intense romance. Though she is the king's illegitimate daughter and quite wealthy, Maren Stewart lives anonymously in a nunnery. When Laird Duncan Cameron's men abduct her, she realizes she is to become a source of additional funds and power for her half-brother to carry out a plot to kill the king. Maren is beaten severely and imprisoned because of her refusal to wed Duncan, but she escapes. A powerful warrior, Ian McCabe, is searching for his missing son, Crispin. When his men find protecting a wounded Maren, when Crispin tells her father what happened, Ewan vows to protect Maren, even if he must marry her to save her from Duncan, whose army is at his gates. Ewan's men prevail, but the greatest battle is winning her trust and love. Too soon they are called to court to determine if they are legally wed. That's it. Have sex in front of us. Alright, so your nominees for Scotland set historical romance: Sue Ellen Welfander, Sins of the Highland Devil; Karen Rainey, A Borrowed Scot; Michelle Marco, Secrets to Seducing a Scot; Amanda Scott, Highland Master; Karen Hawkins, Scandal in Scotland; Margaret Mallory, The Guardian; Monica McCarthy, The Viper; and Maya Banks, In Bed with a Highlander. And I do not agree with this winner. I would have chosen either Monica McCarthy's The Viper or Maya Banks, In Bed with the Highlander. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, I would have chosen Monica McCarthy, The Viper, because that is just in a superb series. But your winner is Margaret Mallory, The Guardian. Okay. This is historical fantasy paranormal. And it's... come on, show up. Immortal Champion, Lisa Hendricks. And I kept thinking, I have this book. Well, I found this one, Immortal Warrior. And I wrote on it, very good. Second book in series, not as good as the first one. But it is a naked guy. But this one, of course, is that one. And it got 4.5 stars. The captivating Immortal Brotherhood series continues as another curse warrior searches for the woman who can set him free. 200 years, Grandmother Red has lived as a man by night and a bull by day because of a sorcerer's curse. Forced to stay in the forest, he despairs of ever breaking the curse. The bitter cold and longing for companionship sent him to Richmond Castle, where he rescues Lady Eleanor from a fire. Eleanor is transfixed by the warrior and kisses her as a reward. Though betrothed, she realizes Gunnar is the only man she can love. He leaves not knowing he carries her heart until the day he returns and realizes the power of love to redeem his soul. Okay, so that's one. The Earl of Darkness. Oh, I didn't pull this down. Sorry. I keep forgetting. The Earl of Darkness. 4.5 stars. Rickloff begins a new trilogy that is dark, brooding, and chilling as a gothic novel and startling as a paranormal. Circumstances have driven Katrina O'Connell to become a thief and agree to steal a diary from Aidan Douglas of Kilwan. When he catches her, she realizes he is another part Fae. He gives her a chance to translate the text or go to jail. Though Aidan plans to propose to another, Cat intrigues him. Not only can she read the mystical words, she is courageous, sensual, and thorn in his side. Still, he must know what is in the diary and why his father was murdered. As Cat decodes his father's words, frightening facts are revealed, yet she and Adrian are drawn into an unsuspected passion. See what happens there. Two. Healing the Highlander, Melissa Mayhew. 4.5 stars. Mayhew's newest book in the Daughters of the Glen series is amazing. The highly emotional, quick-paced plot makes this a page-turner. Leah Noble Marquis, a contemporary woman, has previously fled to 14th century Scotland. Once there, she has saved a boy's life, and the fairy transported the boy to the present. Leah will stay in the past, but after being tortured by a rogue fae, she vowed never to use her magic again. When her family lives are threatened, she has no choice but to seek the magical McCarran clan's help. Andrew McAllister suffered a physical and emotional wounds during the war and feels useless as a warrior. Then he agrees to rescue Lara from drowning and agrees to aid her. Although his fairy magic can't cure his scars, he believes that helping Leah offers the promise of redemption. She has no idea he is a member of the McKean clan, but there is a powerful attraction between them. While endeavoring to save her family, she uses her fairy healing power to save his life, and she and Andrew discover their love. Okay. Donna Grant's The Untamed Highlander. The Untamed Highlander. Naked guy on the cover. Let's see. You can do that. 4.5 stars. Untamed Highlander, Donna Grant. Grant's newest dark sword tale is outstanding with its delightful melding of history and the effect of centuries-old Druid magic. Hayden Campbell and the MacLeods, along with the band of Druids, free all the captives of the ruthless witch Deidre, but they find a grievously wounded woman among the dead. When she is brought to McLeod's castle, the druids are unable to revive her because of the magic Deidre used to attack her. Hayden has spent centuries killing surviving drows, druids who gave their souls to the devil. Feels torn between killing the drow Isla and fighting to save her life. It is agreed that she will leave after she recovers. Isla was forced to become Deidre's drow. As she slowly recovers, Hayden's wavering emotions and growing attraction to Isla are tearing him apart. The druids continue their fight against surviving the drows, with Isla aiding them while Hayden hopes their love will overcome evil. Okay. And Susanna Kearsley. I tried getting this one, and it was going to be several weeks late in delivery, so I was like, screw it. So there will be a picture, Grizzy. Picture. Hey, Grizzy, picture. The Rose Garden, Susanna Kearsley. This book is in demand today. Unlike Anya Seton's Green Darkness and Daphne Muir's House on the Strand, Kearsley brings brilliantly together the past and the present as her heroine slips back and forth through time. Eva returns to her childhood home in Cornwall with her sister's ashes. She revisits memories and family friends, the Helots, but when she is suddenly swept back 300 years in the past, when the area was a smuggler's haven and rebellion was in the air, she feels as if this is where she belongs. Eve learns that she can see and talk to those in the past, where she meets Daniel Butler. Daniel is the man of Eve's dreams, the man she could love in any time. Caught between mourning from her sister and the magical love she found, Eva must make a crucial choice as to where she truly belongs. And so your nominees were Donna Grant, Untamed Highlander; Lisa Hendricks, The Immortal Champion; Susanna Kearsley, The Rose Garden; Melissa Mayhew, The Healing Highlander. Oh, I forgot one. I had this in my hand the other day too. Quicksilver, Amanda Quick. I don't know what I did with it. Uh, 4.5 stars. For mystery steeped in paranormal, no one stops Quick. Her brilliant, carefully constructed plotlines are enhanced by the paranormal elements, yet she never allows either to supersede either. Virginia Dean is a gaslight reader. She sees the energy locked in the mirror and reads the clues to her clients. But when she awakens next to a dead body holding a knife, gripping blood, her gift gives her no clue. Then Owen Sweetwater breaks into the locked room. Sweetwater has his own gifts, which tells him she has been framed. Working with the Arcane Society, he hunts the serial killer who targets the gaslight readers. Owen realizes he must protect Virginia and that he needs her skills to catch the killer. See what happens there. So what I was saying was Donna Grant, The Untamed Highlander; Lisa Hendricks, The Immortal Champion; Susanna Kearsley, The Rose Garden; Melissa Mayhew, Healing the Highlander; Amanda Quick, Quicksilver; and Alex Rickloff, Earl of Darkness. And your winner is Chrissy Picture, The Rose Garden. Okay, this is the best mystery and suspense novels, and we are doing the suspense thriller category. Alright, so our first nominee is Love You More. Where'd it go? Oh, by Lisa Gardner. 4.5 stars, a top pick. Gardner hits an impressive new high with her latest hot thriller, a three-way chess game with life of a 6-year-old girl at stake. Boston Police Detective D.D. Warren is not thrilled to be called to a crime scene by her friend and former lover, State Police Detective Bobby Dodge. However, once she gets there, she understands from her statement and the evidence State Trooper Tessa Leone shot and killed her husband after being beaten and abused. Of more immediate concern is the fact that 6-year-old Sophie Leone is missing. Dee starts to doubt Tessa's story, but fairly quickly, but finding Sophie is paramount. Tessa knows her assigned role is in this drama, but she will do anything to save her child. That's one. In Desperation, Rick Mafina. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, it's this way. Mafina's latest is his best to date. The author's background in reporting reinforces the story highlight. The believable narrative of characters reacting to various events, tense and terrifying. This examination Mexican drug our trade and the steps people will take when they are desperate elevates Mafina to the top tier of thriller writers. Reporter Jack Gannon is working on a case in Mexico when he receives a call from someone he hasn't spoken to in almost 20 years, his sister. She begs for help. Her daughter has been kidnapped. Gannon thought his sister was dead, so a tense family reunion must be put on hold if he's to help his niece survive. Working with the FBI, he quickly learns that the case he was investigating in Mexico has a strange connection to the kidnapping. And what is his sister hiding about an event that happened years ago? See what happens there. Alright. Now You See Me. S.J. Bolton. Chrissy Picture. 4.5 stars. Bolton is the top of her game. She strips her characters down to the bare bones, torn psyches, and chilling motivations. Lacey Flint melds complex personality, straightforward action, and achingly vulnerable psyche in the blend of gothic horror and psychological suspense, in the chilling feel of a true crime tale. After Detective Constable Lacey Flint discovers a brutally stabbed woman leaning against her car, a reporter gets an anonymous letter pointing out the similarities between this murder and Jack the Ripper's kills. Neither Lacey nor the police department know whether it's a hoax or someone is recreating London's infamous series of killings. If it's true, the authorities have less than a week to stop a sadist while he taunts Lacey with tantalating hints of her personal past, a past she really wants to keep under wraps. Now You See Me. S.J. Bolt. Sorry. Wait a minute. Oh, I just did that. So now we're doing Among the Missing. Sorry, I'm already screwing up again. Among the Missing, Morag Jazz. Beautifully evocative novel is filled with tension and suspense, stemming not so much from physical action as from unattainable relationships forged with secrets and loss. Bridge collapse in the Scottish Highlands brings three strangers together, each hiding something from the past. A pregnant woman believed to have died in the collapse takes that opportunity to start a new life and a family away from her insensitive husband. She finds shelter and support in Silva, an illegal immigrant whose husband and daughter did die in the accident. Though only pregnant woman knows this, the two women are helped by Ron, a drifter who had recently been in prison and makes a life for himself as a means of atonement. Okay. Alright. Andrea Kane, the girl who disappeared twice. Sorry. I have got to learn this small talk. Okay. The girl who disappeared twice. Andrea Kane, 4.5 stars. Kane kicks off the Forensic Instincts, her new series about a team of maverick investigators with his fascinating story with sharply drawn characters. After years of yearning to terms with a family's tragedy, family court judge Hope Willis appears to have it all: a good husband, a career, and most of all, her beautiful daughter, Chrissy. All that's going to be savaged under a magnifying glass of investigation when Chrissy goes missing. Understanding the limits of official channels of investigation better than most, and though her husband is set against him, and knowing that minutes mean everything in the case of a missing child, she hires Forensic Instincts, a group of unique talents, a behaviorist, and a former Navy SEAL to find her daughter. You're next. Greg Hertz. You know, he writes these scary books. I don't know if I could ever read these. They're just evil. I'm going to run out of adjectives describing Hertz's thriller. Chilling, heart-stopping, breathtaking, horrifically violent, and surprisingly tender at times. Mike Wingate was abandoned by his father at the age of 4 and grew up in foster care. Now he's happily married with a precocious daughter and successful construction company. Then two menacing characters start threatening Mike and his family, and he has no idea why. He reports it to police, but they seem more interested in Mike's past than protecting him. With what looks like a conspiracy targeting him for reasons he cannot fathom, Mike turns to dangerous ex-con with a long record for help. See what happens there. Okay. Joe Bannister's Death in High Places. Chrissy picture. 4.5 stars. Top pick. You know those words and phrases in reviews that distress because they rarely live up to their promise? Words like breathless, page turner, and edge of your seat suspense. In this case, they're all true. 4 years ago, 2 young men climbed a mountain in Alaska. Only one returned. Now Nicky is still on the run from a contract killer hired by his buddy's father, who holds him responsible for his son's death and is determined to extract revenge. What unfolds is an exciting yet thoughtful story about what people think about when they know death is at hand and how they evaluate their lives and things they've done and the deals they've made to live or die with honor. It's just creepy. Alright. If y'all know my channel, you know this is my favorite author, and I declare she wins everything. She's not the winner. I will spoil it there just a little bit, but she should be. She absolutely should be. And of all the books in the series, this is the worst one for the character. It's very good written. It's a very good story. But it's the culmination of Eve's background, her past. It's the climax of her storyline. It's been building up since book 1, and I didn't look up. This is gotta be early 20 or 30 something. But the story's been building up and building up and building up, and this is the climax to the story. People say that it's the only one not in death, but not true. If you watch my, in a couple of weeks after Christmas, I am going to start my reread of my comfort series. This is my comfort series. I did it in 2023 and then didn't do it in 2024. And I read it once a year because it is my comfort series. It's my go-to series to read. And I couldn't not go through Christmas and not read it, so I start Christmas week, and we will read the entire series every single Saturday, like we did the Sinsters, only this is much longer, and it will last the entire year, because it's my favorite series, it's my favorite comfort series, and there's over 60 books in the series, so it will last until next year, till Christmas, New Year's of next year, and hey, there's a book in February, so woohoo! We'll be able to end it with a new book, maybe? We'll see. So, Eve Dallas is a lieutenant in the police and security department in NYPD, and Rourke is her husband, and Mavis is her best friend, and Leonardo is her significant other, and Mira is the department shrink, and Somerset is the major domo of Rourke's, and Galahad is the cat, and Peabody is her partner, and McNabb is Peabody's significant other, and he's also a detective in EDD. Feeney is Eve's former mentor, and now is the captain of EDD. Whitney is the big boss. We have some other influential characters that come through. This is mostly an out-of-town book, but this is the climax of Eve's childhood coming at her, and I think this book should have won, but it didn't. It's not the winner, but we will go through it anyway. New York to Dallas. I was so excited about the book that it didn't get to the page. Let's see what it says. Sorry. Top pick Gold Star. The always awesome Rob shakes up her long-running series and places her gutsy heroine, Lieutenant Eve Dallas, on a collision course with the past. Right before the ceremony honoring Peabody and Eve for taking down a corrupt cop, Eve learns the pedophile Isaac McQueen has escaped from Rikers. 12 years ago, rookie cop Eve captured McQueen and freed his child captive. Now he's vowing vengeance and starts by taking Melody Jones, one of the former captors. Eve and Rourke travel to Dallas to work with Melinda's sister Bree, a Dallas cop who was held captive by McQueen in the original 10, 12 years ago. But Eve also has to face her past. It all started in Dallas. That's where Eve was born, sort of, kind of, in Dallas. Or where she started her new life as Eve, in Dallas. She may have been born in Atlanta, but she started her reoccurrence as who she is today in Dallas. Okay. And the final book, Ghost Hero, S.J. Rosen. Four and a Half Stars. Roseanne delivers another thoroughly entertaining, meticulously plotted, and utterly riveting installment of a Lydia Chin Bill Smith series. Lydia Chin is hired to investigate an art world rumor. 3 paintings by a Chinese dissident believed to have died during the Tiananmen Square uprising will be revealed at an upcoming show. If the paintings are real, it means a huge windfall to the gallery, obtaining these paintings, and a big public embarrassment for the Chinese government. Lydia learns not only that her client is not who he says he is, she's not the only PI who's hired to track down the paintings. Enter Jack Lee, whose client desperately hopes the paintings are fakes. As they team up and cautiously begin sharing information, the stakes are suddenly raised high, and soon they're plotting an elaborate scheme to not only get to the truth, but also to save their own lives. So, your nominees for Suspense Thriller were Joe Bannister, Death in High Places; S.J. Bolton, Now You See Me; Lisa Gardner, Love You More; Greg Horowitz, You're Next; Morag Joss, Among the Missing; Andrea Kane, The Girl Who Disappeared Twice; Rick Mafina, In Desperation; J.D. Robb, New York to Dallas; and S.J. Rosen, Ghost Hero. And the winner is... I just had it. Oh. Lisa Gardner, Love You More. And if I had my way, it'd be this one. But this is the winner. Okay, this is the Amateur Sleuth category. And it's a small category. Now, to me, it should be one of the bigger ones, but it's not. And this is a series that we will be reading. We have done all of Molly Murphy, so if you haven't seen all my Molly Murphy videos, please go check those out. But this is Rice Bowen, Naughty and Nice. It's another delightful, unmissable installment of The Royal Spyness. Bowen captures the cheeky humor and charm of the lost generation, ladling in a healthy dose of British dry wit. Lady Georgina Rannoch, 34th in line to the throne, is sent to Nice by the Queen to recover a stolen sniff box. Georgie finds herself in the company of Coco Chanel, who asks her to model her latest fashion, but when the royal necklace she used to wear was stolen on the catwalk, Georgie has 2 valuable items to retrieve. Then there's the problem of the murdered man and her arrest, which puts a serious crimp in her romantic life. To Have and to Kill. Mary Jane Clark. And I just don't think of her... I don't know, I think of her as more romance, but I guess this is a mystery. To Have and to Kill, Mary Jane Clark, 4.5 stars. Clark launches her wedding cake mystery series with a bang. Piper Donovan heads home to Hillwood, New Jersey after acting gigs start petering out, and her romance goes up in flames. Now she's helping her mother at the family bakery place icing on the cupcake. Her career may be iffy, but Piper's thrilled her dear friend Glenna Brooks, one of the stars of the daytime drama A Little Rain Must Fall, has asked her to prepare a cake for her upcoming wedding. However, the murder of one of Glenna's cast members puts a pall on the nuptials. As the body count mounts, Piper turns to her good buddy Jack, an FBI agent, for advice. See what happens there. Okay. Killing Kate. I would never have chosen any of these at all. No, you'd see a Krista Davis up here. You'd see, a Connolly up here. Cleo Coyle up here. You'd see JJ Jan. Well, no, that's a professional. Krista Davis. Lorna Barrett. any of those amateur sleuths. But I would not have chosen these. I haven't even read these authors. These aren't familiar to me authors. But anyways, Killing Kate. This is the best book yet in the Riley Sparks series. It is also the darkest. Kramer skillfully weaves several stories together in this fourth outing, with chapters from the serial killer's POV interspersed with Riley's first-person narrative of events. This technique is so effective you'll want to warn Riley that the killer is nearby. It's a slow news day for Riley until a woman is murdered in her home. Riley is horrified to discover the dead woman is his strange friend Laura's sister, Kate. A chalk outline in the shape of an angel is drawn around the body, and Riley traces it to a statue in Iowa graveyard. But while she is tracking a possible serial killer, dealing with job and relationship stress, a killer is tracking her too. See what happens there. I would not have used this one either. I'm gonna need a picture, Chrissy. The Busy Woman's Guide to Murder. What was that lady's name? I can't think of it right now. But I did quite a few months ago. I did How to Kill Your Mother-in-Law. That was a cute book. Maffini's latest offering in Charlotte Adams series features all her usual charm as Charlotte copes with her business, her mini Duchands, and a very twisted mystery that will keep even the astute mystery lover guessing until the end. Professional organizer Charlotte Adams is caught up in another mystery that begins with a panic phone call from 911 operator Mona. Former high school bully Serena Redding is back in town, and former victim Mona is terrified when another former victim of the Mean Girls is run down and two of the former bullies are killed. Charlotte is worried both about Mona's sanity and about the safety of anyone else connected to those bad days, especially when her the local police are ignored. Well, that just sucks. And, Tempest in the Tea Leaves. We'll need a picture, Chrissy. Oh. 4.5 stars. Fun and fortune-telling await in Rita's first-rate debut featuring young and feisty psychic. Mitch is the perfect adversary for Sunny, and their constant bantering provides plenty of madcap situations to entertain the readers. Psychic Sunny Meadows is leaving the Big Apple and moving to Divinity, New York to open her own fortune-telling business. Sunny's first customer is a frantic librarian, Amanda Robbins. When Sunny reads her tea leaves, she sees impending doom. Sunny profiles the police, but it's too late, and Amanda is found dead. The police are skeptical and name her as a prime suspect. To clear her name, she must work with Mitch Stone to uncover the real killer. Okay, so your nominees for Amateur Sleuth were Rice Bowen, Naughty and Nice, Mary Jane Clark, To Have and to Kill, Julie Kramer, Killing Kate, Mary Jane Maffini, The Busy Woman's Guide to Murder, and Carrie Lee Townsend, Tempest in Tea Leaves, and the winner was The Busy Woman's Guide to Murder. I would have chosen Rice Bowen's Naughty and Nice one out of that group, but I still would have preferred somebody else, Krista Davis or Donna Andrews or Lorna Barrett or any of those other cozy authors for my amateur sleuths. Hold on. Okay, romantic suspense. Your first nominee is Janine Adams, Deadly Little Lies. Adams' growing base of fans will be thrilled with her last year's outstanding Deadly Little Secrets introduced billionaire Darvis Giannakopoulos as a secondary character. In this book, he is at the center of the kidnapping revenge plot. With its former head of security, Gates, now married to CIA agent Anna, Devros is reevaluating his life in the time to make a move on striking art gallery owner Carrie McKay. Their first date goes horrifically awry when they are abducted during a shootout. Flown out of the country and dropped into an underground prison, Davos and Carrie must escape before the plot mastermind has them executed. Okay, that could kill a romance. One, two. Laura Griffin snapped. Snapped rocks. Griffin consistently cranks out one gripping suspense after another, and this may be her best yet. Sophie Barrett is the secretary at the Delphi Institute with her insights set on an eternal PR position. When she's caught in a shootout in a local campus, she's the only person who sees that the shooter isn't working alone. The trouble is no one believes her, not even sexy Johanna Macon, whose questions motivation based on her career aspirations. Is she merely trying to gain a promotion? Is she mistaken about what she saw, or is she about to get into something much bigger than she first thought? Okay. And Jamie Alden beg for mercy. Beg for mercy. Megan Flynn is one determined woman. Anyone would be lucky to have her on their side. Alden's emotionally gripping beg for mercy makes readers beg for mercy too. It's not for the squeamish, as some of the murder scenes are quite violently, horrifically graphic. Megan Flynn's world dropped out from under her the day her boyfriend arrested her beloved brother for murder. Now her brother is sitting on death row with only days left until he's going to be put to death. Megan will stop at nothing to find the truth. She knows he didn't kill anyone. A serial killer's pattern resembles the same crime her brother was convicted of. Megan turns to the only one person who can brutally help her save her brother's life, Cole Williams, her ex-boyfriend and the one that put him away. Dead by Nightfall, Beverly Barton. Dead by Nightfall. 4.5 stars. With Barton said and ultimately passing, readers have lost a tremendous talent who provided consistently excellent and unforgettable thrillers. But at least they do have one more story to remember her by. Dead by Nightfall is the nail-biting conclusion to her Dead by trilogy, tying up long-standing secrets from the past of P.I. Griffith Powell. Griffin and Yetta bonded as fellow prisoners in Amara madman Malcolm York's personal playground of torture, sexual enslavement, and murder. More than a decade ago, they managed to destroy Amara and kill York, but the past unfortunately refuses to die, and Yapin's madness is rising again. Griffin's wife, ex-agent Nicole, is kidnapped and is now the principal slayer in an orchestrated nightmare. As the entire Powell agency searches the globe for Nick, she must fight for her life in the barbaric gladiator arena where losing means death. Shoot. Ah, baby. Allison Brennan, Love Me to Death. Four and a half stars. Suspense maven Brennan kicks off a new series featuring Lucy Kincaid. Readers met Lucy in Fear No Evil when she was a teen and surviving victim of a rapist killer who showcased his crimes online. It's been 6 years since Lucy Kincaid killed her kidnapper, Adam Scott, as Lucy waits to find out if she's been accepted into the FBI Academy. She works for an aid organization that monitors paroled sex offenders. When Lucy discovers that her monitoring program is being used to find and execute parolees rather than send them back to prison, she's horrified. P.I. Sean Rogan is highly attracted to Lucy, and they're determined to help her find the truth. Okay. Shannon K. Butcher, Living on the Edge. Four and a half stars. Rising star Butcher launching a new series by revealing the first new pieces of a dangerous, compelling puzzle. Estranged from General Father for years, Salone Guillaume is not about to let him dictate whether or not she can rescue her friend Gina from the Colombian drug lord who kidnapped her. Although Sloane works for Edge, a group of mercenaries, this rescue is a personal mission. Lucas Ramsey owes the general a lot, so even though his bum knee forced him out of the service, he agrees to stop Sloane from going to Colombia. A plan fails miserably, so Lucas follows Sloane south, where she reluctantly agrees to let him help. Why did Lorenzo Soma grab Gina? You have to read the book to find out why. Loose Ends. Tara Zenzi. I would never be reading these books. 4.5 stars. The always awesome Jens wraps up her Steel Street series with a rapid-fire thriller stuffed with plenty of emotional punch. This series has been a wild roller coaster ride filled with intriguing and unforgettable characters who are drawn into a highly dangerous scenario. The entire Special Defense Force was stunned when they discovered that the man calling himself Conway Farrell was in fact amnesia-stricken J.T. Chronopoulos. Khan, as he's known now, was tortured, drugged, and used as a human guinea pig in an attempt to make a super soldier by a Black Ops organization. The SDF gang captures Scott, a young woman Khan has fathered in stick stores, in hopes of luring him in. During his mission to retrieve Scott, Khan runs into Jane Linden, a woman from his past, who strikes an immediate and sizzling chord. However, all their lives are now threatened by a twisted super soldier who is more creature than man. 7. Darkness at Dawn. Elizabeth Jennings. Four and a half stars. Top pick. Jennings' flair for romantic suspense leaps to a new level with this remarkable pulse-pounding thrill. She does an outstanding job of weaving together a variety of ominous events taking simultaneously, each of which ratchets up the threat level. As the daughter of fallen CIA agents, Dr. Lucy Merritt has survived numerous death-defying odds. As a child, she witnessed her parents' death while they helped save the Himalayan kingdom of Nala. Now, Nala is the center of a diabolical terrorist plot, and as a monarchy is under attack, Lucy's old friend Princess Peso has asked for assistance. An expert manuscript restorer, Lucy returns to Nala with her fiancé, Mike Schaefer, a U.S. Army captain. His mission is to protect Lucy and find a missing flash drive containing vital information on the terror plot. If they fail, millions die. And our final book, If You Hear Her. Let's see if I did this right. If you hear her. Walker has crafted a tout scary trilogy opener defying multiple storylines together for a real nail-biter. And the killer is still on the loose at the end. Ash, Kentucky is a quiet small town, or was, until Lena Riddle hears a woman screaming in the woods by her house. The police find nothing, but Lena knows something evil is out there. Ezra King is a state cop on leave and living in his grandmother's old house a couple of miles away from Lena's. He is instantly attracted to Lena, and when he hears about the scream she heard in Stickstown, Lena is also in danger. They have no idea what searching the woods will stir up, but the flames of their attraction will certainly not be the only fire in town. With a body planted at the town extension law office, rallies and vicious rumors that break the town into paranoid factions. Ezra and Lena must hold on to their growing feelings for one another as one of the few bright spots. Okay? So, oh, 8. Hold on. So your romantic suspense nominees were Jeannie Adams' Deadly Little Lies, Jamie Alden's Beg for Mercy, Beverly Barton's Dead by Nightfall, Allison Brennan's Love Me to Death, Shannon K. Butcher, Living on the Edge, Laura Griffin's Snap, Tara Jensen's Loose Ends, Elizabeth Jennings' Darkness at Dawn, and Shiloh Walker, If You Hear Her. And the winner was Jamie Alden's Beg for Mercy. So, Best Contemporary Romance. I thought I made this smaller than the last one by doing less books, less categories. I think there were more books in some of the categories. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, our first nominee is Janet Chapman, Highlander for the Holidays. Just in time for the holidays, Chapman delivers a touching and tender romance with a hint of magic. Jesse Pringle survived tragedy and terror, but both have left their mark. To cope with the terrifying flashbacks, Jesse has a stalwart service dog named Toby. Toby consents when Jesse is about to have a flashback and then warn her so she can get somewhere safe. Wanting to start over completely, Jesse decides to move to the tiny Maine town of Pine Creek. Why she is drawn there, Jesse doesn't know, but she quickly learns there is something magical about the town and its people. Ian McGee immediately attached to Jesse, but at first he doesn't realize she is the fairy princess Druid wizard Roger D. Craig told him about. But before Ian and Jesse can find true happiness, the mystery about Jesse's past must be dealt with. See what that's about. Alright. Book 2. Making Waves. Four and a half stars. This delightful, witty debut will have readers laughing out loud at the antics of the dysfunctional pirate crew. Julie is on a mission to spread her uncle's ashes near the island of St. John. When she falls asleep on the wrong boat, her adventures are just beginning. She's caught up in a shame with a group of men who've just been laid off from a shipping firm and have decided to turn to piracy, and their plan to plan a daring robbery. And their plans don't include a stowaway. Alex is captain of the bunch and just happened to meet Julia in a bar the night before. Julia is suspicious of them but wants desperately to be included. Okay. I think it's the only August one. So then, this was a line in a song. I forget when, 50s or 60s. It could have been a little later than that. And I can't sing for nothing. Baby, it's cold outside. I know, A couple of people have redone it the past couple of years. It's always heard of at Christmas. As an Alaskan, I can't help but look closely at the details in a book set in my home state. It's an unusual place to live and has fine points are important. Fortunately, Fox does a fantastic job of writing about life in a very small, isolated town. Of all the places Sloane McKinley would travel to help her best friend, she never would have guessed the small town of Indigo, Alaska would be one of them. When her BFF inherits property, the town isn't happy with this newcomer, but Sloane's charm and legal prowess could save the day. While she's there, she falls for the beautifully yet rugged wilderness and ruggedly handsome local Walker Montgomery. Susan Mallory. Only yours. And what did I say? Susan Mallory. Only yours. The youngest of the Hendricks triplets gets her story in the second book of back-to-back trilogies within Mallory's delightful Fool's Gold series. Montana Hendricks seems to have finally found her calling, training and working with therapy dogs. When one of her trainee's dogs escapes and ramps into a local hospital, angering a prestigious visiting surgeon, Montana suspects she might get fired. Dr. Simon is a plastic surgeon who specializes in burn victims. Scarred himself, Simon travels the world bringing his skills to those in need, a lifestyle that allows him to avoid emotional entanglements. However, from the moment Montana and Fluffy crash into him, Simon finds it difficult to keep his distance. Okay. And I did that already. Animal attraction, Jill Chavez. I call her the second chance lady, because most of her romances are about receiving a second chance. I'm in the wrong one. Oh, wait. All right. Alright, let's do this first. Alright, and then he kissed me. Christy Ridgway. Oh, I'm just terrible at this. Okay. And then he kissed me. Christy Ridgway. In the Three Kisses trilogy, readers again take a trip to Napa wine country, this time to match up the tomboy Bassie's sister. Although her sister has found her happily ever after at Bassie Winery wedding chapel, things are not quite so smoothly for Stevie or the winery. She tried to keep out of the family business, opening a limo service and moving out of the family home. But now little sis is laid up with a broken ankle and the wedding part of the business must go on. Stevie is going to have to step up and really which is really awkward because the next wedding is between her ex and a princess. The princess comes with a brother, Jack, who is very protective of his little sister. He is also handsome enough to curl a girl's toes. Not that tomboy Stevie goes in for that stuff, but when she's caught in a full lip lock with Jack, she finds herself in a fake engagement. Which I'm certain will turn real. It's a romance after all. Alright, so then back to Animal Attraction. Jill Chavez. 4.5 stars. Chavez reunites readers with Sunshine, Idaho, and all the folks. 18 months ago, Jade walked into Del County Animal Clinic as a temporary receptionist. Since then, she's made the place run like a well-oiled machinery. Every day, Del watches the very hot Jade cheerfully manage the chaos. Then spark Jade feels when she sees Del has remained her secret. Then an incident turns the spark into mutual fire. This temporary job, she promised to return home, and Del is a known serial dater, but maybe they both are changing. Love and sunshine can do that to a person. Aww. And Home by the Sea. Christina Sky. Four and a half stars. The ever versatile Sky is back with a terrific story of love, family choices, and trust, all units together with lovely skeins of yarn. Grace Lindstrom has her dream job traveling the world, researching and writing about food. Now she's up for an important project in Washington, D.C. that will keep her in one place. She does not miss the small island off the coast of Ireland where she grew up and her friends and family, but for now the work is enough. Everything changes one snowy night when Grace and a bomb defuse expert, Noah McKinley, meet over a dumpster with abandoned kittens in it. Oh, take the kittens home. They're mine. They're mine. They're all mine. And The Comforts of Home. Jody Thomas. 4.5 stars. This return to harmony once again draws readers into the intriguing, delightful, sometimes humorous, sometimes painful lives of the town residents. Tyler Wright, owner and director of the town's funeral home, helps a young woman in need. Ronell Logan, painfully shy at 27 and emotionally abused by her mother, is drawn out of her shell by a crippled recluse, Martin Winslow. Reagan Truman is worried about Noah McAllen, her best friend from high school, who seems to have lost his love for the rodeo and bull riding, yet is determined to continue even if it kills him. See what happens there. So, your Best Contemporary Romance nominees are Janet Chapman, Highlander for the Holidays, Tawana Fininsky, Making Waves, Addison Fox, Baby It's Cold Outside, Susan Mallory, Only Yours, Christy Ridgway, Then He Kissed Me, Jill Davis, Animal Attraction, Christina Sky, Home by the Sea, and Jody Thomas, The Comforts of Home. And the winner is Christina Sky, A Home by the Sea. Okay, your nominees for Vampire Romance. Now, I have a job for you. I have a challenge for you. I'm going to make a 60-second thing if I can do it in 60 seconds or less, and I know I can. I go back and look at my vampires. I've got a couple of different vampire ones. Vampire Top 10, and I got to fix the other one from last year, but it's most of the same vampires. I'm looking for a vampire that does not want to be cured, that is good being a vampire. Is master of a city or king of a city or whatever. And there's a female lead. She's a high-ranking detective, lieutenant, whatever. And she is involved with the crew, and they solve crimes each month, murder mysteries each month. And the romance, or maybe she resists him at first, and she intrigues him because she resists him at first, and maybe it takes a few books for a romance to get started. But the main focus of the series, and the continual main focus of the series, is a detective murder crime thing. Doesn't exist like that. But anyway, Lara Adrian, Deeper Than Midnight. The war between the Order and the evil Dragos enters a new phase in the Midnight Breeze book. Until now, the Breeds have been gaining some ground, but crafty Adrian is about to deal her protagonist a significant blow. Following the kidnapping and near massacre of the Archer family by Dragos, Lucian and the Order have been given sanctuary to those they rescue, including Corinne Bishop. Corinne was kidnapped decades ago and has been tortured and experimented on. The result of one of the Dragos' fertility experiments with the now deceased ancient Hun who works for the Order, and his new assignment is to return Corinne to her family. However, things don't go as planned, and soon they are searching for those involved in her abduction. But will Hunter's obsession with destroying Dragos and all its evil threaten something Corinne holds dear? See what happens there. If we don't come back to July. Bound by Midnight. Amanda Ashley. Bound by Midnight is absolutely everything a vampire romance should be. Wolfram Estate is said to be haunted. It appears to have been deserted for years. Out of desperation, Alina must run away and find the place she can hide in the castle she fears. No one has dared enter Drake's estate for decades, nor dared to win Elena's heart and soul. Together they will find great passion. When Elena discovers who Drake really is, it's too late. Bloodlust is turned to love and passion for them, but there is a heavy price to pay. Blood Hunt. Shannon K. Butcher. Blood Hunt. The picture on this computer is horrible, sorry. Logan, the Sangwar demon fighter, has been an intriguing and enigmatic and intriguing character from the beginning. The fifth book in the Butcher Pulse-Pounding Sentinel Wars explores the fallout from previous events and the desperation behind Chandra's people's plight. Hope appeared out of nowhere years ago with no memory of her origins. Helper, her sister Olive Hope, now does her best to take care of those living on the streets. While hunting for a missing woman, Hope stumbles across a demon attack and inadvertently saves Logan with her blood. The power of Hope's blood both saves Logan and fills him with despair, for she cannot be destined for him. Hope struggles to cope with her sudden immersion into the supernatural world, but she has no intention of being breeding stock. Let's see what happens there. That's the only one for August. Diane Duvall, Darkness Dawns. I swear I stood at my bookcase. I must have it. I don't, but I must. Oh, there's a Courtney book. I knew I saw that someplace. Diane Duvall, Darkness Dawns. Display of plenty of warmth, passion, and excitement. Duvall makes a noteworthy debut with her Immortal Guardians. Music professor Sarah Bingham feels like she has fallen down a rabbit hole after she intervenes during the attempted slaying of a man. However, it turns out that man is not quite correct, for Roland Warbrick is an actual Immortal Guardian who protects humans against the ravages of vampires. When the badly wounded Roland refuses medical attention, Sarah gets suspicious, but after a phone call to his CIA boss, Seth, she relents. But keeping Sarah in the dark is not possible after Bastion, a vampire with a grudge against Roland, sends more troops to kill him. I don't know. And I have one of Rowan's, but I don't have this one. Ascension. The one in the middle, Ascension. Best known for her Regency romances, Rowan makes the transition to paranormal romance with ease. Therapist Allison Wells always knew she was different, but sudden increase in her unusual abilities worries her. Carrick is an elite vampire warrior who fights for the Endel against the Death Vampires led by Commander Greaves. There is a centuries-old war going on for control of Mortal Earth and Second Earth. Angel and her warriors are losing ground to Graves' army. Kendrick's new assignment is to protect a completely clueless Allison as she's called to Ascension, for both sides can sense her immense potential power. He's got wings on. Is he supposed to be an angel? Alright, this is the end of January. How can I not? This is another one. I have a bunch of Twilights, but I don't have this one. I stood at that shelf and looked, and I'm like, how can I have like 5 of them and I'm missing this particular title? So again, Chrissy picture. Am I in the right book? Nope. Oh, I thought I gave up January. Maggie Shane, Twilight Fulfilled. Four and a half stars. Shane readers will have everything they've come to expect from this author with a wonderfully complicated couple, the reappearance of an old enemy, and visitations from characters of books past. The fate of the vampires of America rests with Bridget Poe, a quarter vampire and fiercely loyal to those she considers family. She will stop at nothing to see them safe, even if it means defying her heart. To fulfill an old prophecy, she will need to defeat something. UTANAPISHTIM. The first immortal imprisoned years ago and released by Bridget's twin brother. He believes he must destroy the entire vampire race to survive. But when they are forced together by fate, Bridget's attraction to him could be her undoing, and he wants to believe Bridget's claim that he may not have been brought back to destroy her brother. As a threat from an old enemy forces them to work together, they fall in love. This is that one. Alright, back to... This EILEEN Singh and Marjorie Liu and a few others. There was a series. They did this series, and it was a continuing series using the same characters. But, like, Singh wrote one, then Marjorie wrote one, then somebody wrote the third one, and then Singh wrote the fourth one, and I just could never get into those. I just could never get into those at all. Archangel's Blade. Super storyteller Singh returns to the realm of angels, but this time the focus is on the dangerous, sexy vampire. As one of the Archangel 7 and his second-in-command, Dimitri is in charge of New York while Raphael and Alina are in Japan. The discovery of the head of the nascent vampire with an odd tattoo leads Dimitri to consult with the goal to see if they can translate the language. Anna St. Nicholas is a shattered guild hunter struggling to recover from 2 months of torture at the hands of various vampires. Anna's specialty is language and history, but working with the lethal Dimitri is almost too much to handle because it's so hot between them. Okay. And to me, this lady should win everything. I have talked about her. I have done the Brotherhood books, so please go watch all my videos on the Black Dagger Brotherhood. We start with Darius and Dark Lover and Lover Unleashed and Lover Avenged and Lover Enshrined and all of them. And then, if you have a couple dollars and you want to go see the first book, you can turn on Passion Flicks too. So, Lover Unleashed, J.R. Ward. The dysfunctional and abusive upbringing of siblings, vicious in pain, has scarred them emotionally and physically. Scars. In War's latest Black Dagger Brotherhood offering, she tackles the lingering effects of this abuse. She tortures all her heroes have been tortured as kids, but I'm telling you, no one tortures her people better than Kenyon. Sherilyn Kenyon tortures her people, and we shall do that one day. Having escaped the prison that their mother, the scribe virgin, kept her in, Pain has joined her brother Vicious in the modern world. Pain's freedom is short-lived, however, when a terrible accident paralyzes her. Pain's only hope is gifted human surgeon Manuel Manello, Vicious mates Jane's former boss. Suddenly, Manny is plunged into a dark and dangerous world, but given the instant connection he feels with Pain, there is no backing down. The war with the Lessers continues, and new players in the game add yet another layer of unpredictable danger to the peril of the Black Dagger Brotherhood and those they love. So, your nominees for Vampire Romance were Lara Adrian, Deeper Than Midnight; Amanda Ashley, Bound by Night; Shannon K. Butcher, Blood Hunt; Diane Duvall, Darkness Dawns; Chris Roan for Ascension; Maggie Shane for Twilight Film; Nalini Singh for Archangel's Blade; and Jaya Wood for Lover Unleashed. And this time I believe them, and I join them with Lover Unleashed as the winner. Okay. Our final category of the day: Urban Fantasy. Ilona Andrews' Magic Slays. It takes both talent and hard work to keep a series consistently high quality, a feat ably demonstrated by Andrews as she places Kate Daniels in a brand new apocalyptic stew. In the aftermath of her Aunt Ara's deadly rampage, Kate is charting a new course in her life. Now mated with the Beast Lord Curran and living in the Keep, she also is trying to start her own PI firm. Cutting-edge investigations with the Order bad-mouthing her, clients have been few. The good news is that her best friend, Beast King Andrea, has returned and decided to join the firm. The same day they get their first significant client, the Red Guard, who want Kate to find a missing scientist and the device he was working on. Things go from bad to potentially apocalyptic when Kate and Andrea just learn what the device is capable of. I don't need June again. Alright, Spider's Revenge. Jennifer Estep. The initial story arc of the Elemental Assassin novels come to an explosive conclusion in the outstanding thriller. Since the brutal murders of her mother and older sister by Fire Elemental Mab Monroe, assassin Gina Blanco has been plotting her revenge. With Mab now gunning for her baby sister Bria, Jin, aka the Spider, must act, but it won't be easy as Mab has placed an enormous bounty on Bria and Spider's heads, bringing down every bounty hunter in the region. Formerly alone, Jin expects to face this danger alone, but neither her friends nor her lover Owen Grayson are about to let that happen. I don't need to see. No, I don't need that to read. Alright. Janine Frost, One Grave at a Time. Four stars. For Frost's dynamic duo of Cat and Bones, a personal favor puts them in a collision course with a murderously obsessive ghost. A request for their equally friend Fabian introduces Cat and Bones to a ghost named Elizabeth who is on a vengeance quest. Burned at the stake for witchcraft by a homicidal Zevek Kramer, Elizabeth got a measure of revenge by causing Kramer's demise by spooking his house. Since then, however, Kramer now becomes corporal on Halloween, capturing and burning to death 3 new victims. Kat is determined to find a way to permanently stop Kramer, but her efforts are stymied by the interference of an old enemy of her now deceased Uncle Don. That Don is hanging around as a ghostly presence is disconcerting, but the bigger worry is about Jason Magnum, what he has planned for the team. Yasmin Galnon, Courting Darkness. And there's a couple of her books on the shelves behind me too. Just not this one. 4.5 stars. Galnon never shies away from forcing her protagonist into dealing with devastating emotionally and physical blows in her Otherworld series. Upon her return from the Northlands, Camille doesn't even get a chance to get inside her new home before she is called away in a crisis. A message has been sent warning Camille that her dragon father-in-law Heido is hunting her and is determined to destroy both Smokey and herself. Events quickly deteriorate when the D'Argeno sisters' friendly and allied Chase is snatched through an otherworld getaway. As Camille and Delilah try to rescue Chase, they learn of more trouble brewing. Then the unthinkable happens. Camille is captured by Hilo. It will take all the emotional and physical strength Camille has if she is to survive the degradation and the torture he has planned. Alright. Pack of Lies, Lorian Gilman. Four and a half stars. Gilman's second paranormal scene investigations is a fast, compelling read. Following Bonnie's POV is fantastic, and the secondary characters are equally well drawn. Bonnie Turris and the rest of the pup team have been called out to the scene of a horrific crime. A Karen's human companion was attacked, and the attackers end up dead or gravely injured by the Karen, a unicorn-like creature with the attendant purity requirement. Things are always more complicated than they appear on the surface, especially with tensions between the human and fae heating up. Okay. I don't need that again. Allison James Shadow Walker. And haha, 4.5 stars. Trouble seems to be Stormwalker Janet Bengay's middle name, as third chapter of the intense series opens with a bang. Speeding down the highway with Sheriff Nash Jones hot on the trail, Janet and Nash are nearly killed when a massive sinkhole opens up beneath them. This is no ordinary geological event. Ghostly fingers reach out of the rocks to try and grab them. They are rescued by Janet's dragon shifter lover Mick, but Janet is afraid something dark is stirring. Janet's Crossroads Hotel is under attack when a building inspector threatens to shut her down. Shortly thereafter, to Janet's horror, she learns that the Dark Witch has enslaved Mick. To save her lover, her friends, and her hotel, Janet is going to have to fight against the dreaded Shadow Walker. After Time, Sophie Littlefield. The first installment in a fantastic new dystopian series is driven by tough, smart heroine with a dark past and a single mission to find her daughter. Cass Dollar wakes up to a pretty bleak state of affairs. She's scarred, wounded, and alone, the only person ever to have survived an attack by the flesh-eating zombie-like beaters without turning into wind, though she doesn't remember what happened after they snatched her. California is a barren wasteland thanks to a biological weapon, and Cass doesn't know where her daughter Ruthie is. Accompanied by the enigmatic outlaw Smoke, Cass sets off on a dangerous quest to find Ruthie. Rob Thurman, Blackout. 4.5 stars. The old question of nature versus nurture is on display in Thurman's new, amazingly new Cal Leaders novel. To say he is confused is an understatement. When Cal wakes up on a beach with the dead monsters all around him and no memory, the one thing he does know is that he is a killer. As Cal wanders into Neverlanding, South Carolina, he's helped by the several of the locals. Shortly thereafter, two men, one claiming to be his brother Nico and the other his friend Robin Goodfellow, arrive. Cal is not ready to trust anyone, but when they are attacked by more spider monsters, he decides to listen to his brother. Okay. And the final one, which I stood at my, and I might be getting this one. I might be getting one. I need to finish the series. I want to reread the series. It's a Lupus series. It's very similar to the Patricia Briggs, and I really want to go back to this one. It's been a few years, and I've got the first 4 or 5 of them, and I really want to get back to this. So I'm gonna try and do it. We'll see what happens there. But Eileen Wilkes, Death Magic. In the war between 2 old ones, human Lupi and other supernatural races, as a foot soldier and willing to pieces to manipulate it, Week's long-running Lupi series takes some very interesting turns in this recent entry. Both Lily Yu and her FBI boss, Reuben Brooks, are recovering from a dual assassination attempts. They know that there is at least one traitor in the FBI. Reuben and Rule Turner, Lily Lupi's fiancé, decide to form a shadow unit comprised of supernatural and trusted humans, one of which will stay outside in the standard chain of command, a group Lily's consciousness will not allow her to join. Then a senator with ties to Humans First group is murdered, and Reuben is first prime suspect. Death magic was used in the murder as Lily tries to uncover the truth. She too is targeting. Something big is about to go down. Unless the shadow unit finds a way to stop it, dire consequences are sure to follow. Okay, so your nominees for Best Urban Fantasy: Ilian Andrews, Magic Slays; Jennifer S. Stepp, Spider's Revenge; Jeanine Frost, One Grave at a Time; Yasmin Gallon, Courting Darkness; Laura Ann Gilman, Pack of Lies; Allison James, Shadow Walker; Sophie Littlefield, Aftertime; Rob Thurman, Blackout; Eileen Wilkes, Death Magic; and the winner is Jennifer S. Stepp's Spider's Revenge. If I had my way, it would be Eileen Wilkes' Death Magic. And if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Oh, I have this one. I should have showed it. Shiloh Walker. Sorry. So this is this one. Please hit the like and subscribe. And I'm going to try and maybe I'll eliminate one of the Regencies next week. We've only got a couple more of these to do before we continue with, we'll do 2012, 13, 14, and 15. And then we'll move on to, the finish 2016 off, because we ended in July with the Romantic Time Book Review magazines, and we'll move forward that way after that. But let's do the win, and the winner is first. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you found something to read. I did not agree with all these winners at all, as you know. So thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with me through this. Have a good one.